And in South Africa, data from the central bank shows it has further cut its government bond purchases in July, buying 2.5 billion rand worth, or about half the amount it bought in June, to bring its total holding to 38.4 billion rand. Rampant selling of government debt in March and April as the coronavirus struck forced the bank into emergency liquidity measures, including a quantitative easing style purchasing of bonds in the secondary market. At its rate meeting 2 weeks ago, when the bank clipped lending rates by 25 basis points, the governor stressed the bond buying was to support liquidity rather than finance government's ballooning budget deficit. In May, National Treasury upped the weekly amount on debt on auction of nearly 2 billion rand. Well, South Africa's rand traded nearly 1% weaker early on Friday, near its lowest in 10 weeks, amid soaring emerging market sentiment led by Turkey's currency crisis and increased tension between China and the United States. Bonds firmed with a yield on the benchmark 2030 government issue down 1.5 basis points. For the week's market wrap-up, I'm being joined by our South African business correspondent, Zingi Mandayi. Hello, Zingi. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, this week saw a number of data like the PMI published and, of course, a couple of earnings. Which of these was a market mover in the week?
Okay. Currently, the JSE index is flat in South Africa, down by minus 1.28% at the time coming on air. And also, manufacturing, we saw on Thursday, we saw manufacturers like companies like Mondi, and they reported strong first half earnings, resulting on heavyweight companies like your BHP Group mining companies, and also Anglo American, and they also claimed on raising the iron price. And also, investors, they are waiting for the U.S. Corona fiscal package to see what's going to happen next week.
Now, during the week, South Africa retailer Shoprite indicated it's mulling leaving Nigeria. What reactions did you get on this from both South Africans and, of course, Nigerians living in South Africa?
Okay, yesterday I spoke to economic analyst Kaya Stoller based in KZN, and also he said that business fees might have contributed to the fact that Shoprite closed in Nigeria, or considering closing in Nigeria. And also, when I spoke to another economist, Bugani Ngoma from KZN as well, he also mentioned that if you look at Woolworths and also Shoprite, in terms of the market, they're similar. And also now the consumer, they didn't research their industry very well in Nigeria. And also, he also mentioned that Nigeria, in terms of the market, is not that as smooth as South African one. He also mentioned the issue of nationalism, saying that maybe Nigerians, they prefer buying from their own people instead of maybe South African companies.
And just yesterday, MTN, of course, announced it's exiting Middle East to focus on Africa. Why are South African companies divesting at a time like this? What soundbite are you getting on this?
The issue of MTN in Nigeria, as reported by the CEO of MTN, Rob Shatta, he actually mentioned that the Middle East environment is becoming increasingly complex. So I spoke to Dr. Clifford Chokubuza, who's based in the UK. He was also saying that in terms of the US sanctions, if you can look at Afghanistan, Syria, and Yemen, those sanctions by the U.S. He also mentioned that if ever the market is caught up on those sanctions, it's so much harder to balance the market.
Our South Africans woke up on Wednesday morning to a higher fuel price. How are the citizens taking that, particularly as they deal with the COVID-19 effect?
In terms of hiking, the petrol price is another thing in South Africa. We are in the middle of the global pandemic, And also speaking to some motorists, they were mentioning the fact that some have lost their jobs because of the pandemic, and also they were stressing out the fact that some were forced to take your salary cut. Now the petrol hike is up, and they can't even pay their cars. They can't even pay bonds and all that. So they were saying that the petrol price is another concerning thing. And also, they also mentioned the fact that in South Africa, we also struggle for the unemployment insurance. Those who have lost their jobs, now they can't pay their cars because of the pandemic. And also now, you look at the petrol increase, they can't even buy groceries.
The outlook for next week, what should we expect?
Next week, it's very uncertain. I mean, for what happened earlier this week, we saw companies like SAB halting their investment. We saw black companies like Consol also halting their investment. Like the Heineken in South Africa, the catching people. So it's hard to say what's going to happen next week. Maybe we'll see a lot of companies closing up. We at this point we don't know. And also, if you can look at the investment that was halted by Heineken and also your SAB, it will play a huge role when it comes to investment in the country. But now, as I'm talking to you, it's so hard to say that what's going to happen next week, and as well as the whole thing of the tobacco. I mean, the tobacco industry took the government to court in terms of banning the tobacco. So they're wondering what's going to happen because they also are losing on sale. And also the ban of alcohol, also another thing that we're looking forward to see next week, if ever the president will allow or will raise the ban of alcohol.
All right, thank you, Zingi, for those updates. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And in the meantime, South Africa's financial watchdog is consulting with lawyers and the insurance industry on a potential test case to clarify whether insurers should pay rejected claims from firms hit by the impact of the coronavirus. Several lawsuits have been filed by individual firms, mostly in tourism and hospitality, after they were told by insurers that their policies did not cover coronavirus lockdowns. The head of insurers and retirement fund administrators at the Financial Sector Conduct Authority said a test case would aim to provide legal certainty in the matter. And it's on that note that we draw the curtain on today's edition of the program and, of course, for the week. Thank you for watching. I'm Chimizi Obi Iwago.